Okay, we're going to go into the daily bias columns. It's an area in the quick view that many people don't quite get right away. So we're going to try and break it down for you, make it easy for you to get an understanding on. Okay, we're going to do our best. Let's start by breaking it down by the columns: column A and column B, column C and column D. First, you want to consider the fact that this is one side and this is the other side. They're separate. They have two separate functions. This side is a trend side, and this side is a side that helps us get a close, real zoomed in picture with the relationship of where the close from the previous day was with what's called the pivot. Now, if you don't understand what a pivot is, don't worry about it, you will. But basically, for now, just accept the fact that it's a very crucial point in price from the action of the market. And it's a calculation that comes up with a point at which we expect to see a sensitive area of price if price reaches that area. It's a very sensitive area of price in the range of the day. Okay, so let's start over here. The A, this is the trend of this is the fast lane trend. And so of course, if you see black, that's bullish. If you see red, that's bearish. And this is a slow lane trend. Okay, so together they make a trend. When they're agreeing with one another, we've got complete bullishness. When they are teeter-tottered between the other, it's usually some form of changing of the guard, we call it. For example, we've been black, now we get a red. That's a sign of change of the guard. But it switched back, and then it switched back again, comes back. This is, oh, by the way, I like this because this is showing this is not showing the most flattering condition, actually. And I like that because I don't want to give you false hopes and thinking that every time you see this move from black to red, that means it's going to start bearish. No, it's an indicator that says that this is what the price is trying to do. Also, you want to keep in mind, this is one of the things that makes dealing with the daily bias confusing for some people. They try and etch everything in stone to make it so difficult, okay, by doing that. You have to always consider the relationship with the other signals and indicators, okay? When we go through the daily videos that show trades in individual situations, you'll see how you keep score. For example, if this is showing a change of regard of bearishness, which actually, even though you see this black over here, it really was, because what happened was it hit the high point, and then for the next few days it started going down. The reason why this turned black again was because of the move that small move to the upside. Also, this is known as the first full house. All black for the first time after being various colors in the columns. This is called a first full house. If it's a first full house of black, that means it's bearishness. Expect this day to be, and that's exactly what you got. Okay, there it is again, and that's what you got. It doesn't happen every time, but the highest probability is that that's what will happen. Same thing in the other direction. Here's all red for the first time after being mixed in with with the red and the black. Okay, first full house, we gotta move to the upside. Okay, so let's start talking about these patterns real quick. First full house is one that we've just learned. The change of the guard is the other. Another very important, it's not necessarily a pattern, but it's an indicator, is when you see either the A column or the C column become a very high number, like here 165, which this is your governor over here, this 129. So we break that 129, 165 of a black number. That's stretching, it's exhausting itself. It's what we call it, exhaustion. And so we can expect the market to try and relieve that exhaustion by going in the opposite direction. Let me see if I can find another one here. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you want to pay attention to it. I don't see anything right away, so I'm just, for the sake of time, we'll just move on. Okay, other patterns. This is called a takeover attempt when the right side is one color versus the other side's color. Okay, this would be a bearish push. Okay, and this would be a bullish push. In other words, the bulls are pushing against the trend, okay, to try and create a new direction. This is called the takeover attempt when the only thing is this B column. The B column is the only color of its kind, so to speak. So here it's bearish takeover attempt. Here it's bullish takeover attempt. Okay, because the bulls are attempting to take over this long-term trend that's still trying to hold out. Everywhere else it's bullish. They're attempting a takeover. Okay, now here's a scenario where you get a first full house that does not fall back down. Well, there are reasons why that happens too. We've got signals over here that help us to see that. Okay, but we're not doing that today. Right now we're just dealing with this area. Okay, other patterns are things like here. These, we don't see these very often, but what they're basically saying, indecision. I can bet you $1 to the donut when I see something like this, it's probably consolidation, because there's complete indecision going on. Everything is mixed. The pivots are mixed, the trends are mixed. Let's take a look. Let's highlight the row, slide over, let's see. Yep, consolidation. Consolidation. Yep, that's what I figured. When you see that, that's usually some sign of indecision, consolidation. Okay, so that's pretty much sums it up. Let's review. Fast lane of the trend, slow lane of the trend, which once it catches up with the fast lane, you've got an establishment of beginning to establish a trend in a particular direction. This lane deals with the move from the, it's basically, this is a 3-day average of the pivot versus the close that you just had. So here this is saying that the close is 46 pips above the average of pivots for the last 3 days. Okay, and this is simply saying that the close is 23 pips above where the pivot point is in price. Okay, so these are relationships of the pivot to the close, and this is the relationship of trend for the overall move that we're taking place. And when they can work together, for example, like here, everything is bullish. Everything is bullish. Everybody's feeling groovy. Okay. Here you had a moment where it slipped under. When you see this oddball, this is the reverse of the takeover attempt. You're generally going to get an opposite reaction of what color this number is. Okay, but this is a tricky one because it requires certain things to happen before. In other words, this can't have any red up here. This has to be a single move that falls into that slot by itself on its own without any other days, and it doesn't happen very often, as you can see. So anyway, that's the daily bias. Watch this video as many times as you can tolerate, because it will definitely help you understand and make you more profitable. Watch it over and over, and we'll also talk about it during the daily trades that we make. You'll catch on.